the main reason that I've even gotten involved in this whole boondoggle with this pipeline is freedom. Our family had a great-great-grandfather that came to north central McPherson County in 1892. He was 60 years old, got out of the Ukraine. He came with 4 brothers and homesteaded right out in the open prairie. Then I had a great-grandpa that came and homesteaded, and then my grandpa, and then my dad was the youngest in the family, took over the home farm, and then a little brother that's 18 years younger than me that happens to be a county commissioner in McPherson County. He took over the home farm and has a son-in-law and a son, and now a little grandson, 7 generations of freedom, because our great-great-grandpa came here so that he could own a piece of his own private property, freedom. And I guess, you know, if we get backed into the corner with this eminent domain thing for private gain, where will that stop? I mean, where will our freedom, where will our protection for private property go? And so that's why I'm involved. I personally have no land that it's going across. I have a next younger brother than me that has an 800-acre pasture that the pipeline literally will go from the southeast corner of that pasture out the northeast corner, northwest corner. I was a firefighter for the city of Aberdeen for 27 years. That was 27 years ago, because I've been retired for 27 years. What has happened in the fire industry from a standpoint of hazardous materials and chemicals and all those things, we were really just starting to really get into that when I retired from the fire department. But I don't think that anybody that really follows this thing and really seriously takes a look at it, that if one of those pipes were to break, and there's some evidence of what happened in Mississippi, there's no question that it could take lives. And I think the rural fire departments, I said it before, that if I was a firefighter in a small community where this pipe was going through, I'm not sure that I'd want to be a firefighter because of the equipment that you would have to have in order to go into a situation like that. So I guess I would just say that you know, it's very, very dangerous. They cannot scientifically prove that it isn't going to happen somewhere. They talk about plume studies. Well, what do we have in South Dakota for weather conditions? Can't tell me that if it's 30 below zero in the middle of the winter and the wind is blowing out of the northwest 30, 40 miles an hour, that it won't have a different effect. They can do all the plume studies they want to do, but any common sense will tell you if you have a situation like that versus a situation where in the middle of the summer it's 100 degrees, 85% humidity, the same location, the wind blowing out of the southeast, they can't tell you what's going to happen to that CO2. And so it's all about the money. Follow the money.
Right.
All about grabbing those tax credits.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, that if you let someone tell you that what they're gonna do on your land, where does that stop? I mean, do they eventually cover it with solar panels? I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, even to the extent of the opportunity for a foreign country to get their fingers or their hands onto that land, and you know, where will our, I mean, it might sound crazy, they'll probably call you an extremist or whatever, but hey, I mean, you don't know where this thing could end up, let alone that even in the cities, they're not completely protected either, because if they're close to a shopping mall or they're close to some new industry, this thing is done in the name, in South Dakota, in the name of economic development. I always say, why do we have to have government subsidized economic development? And that's how this whole thing I can't remember what the name of the city was, it actually happened for economic development. I mean, I served 8 years out in the South Dakota State Legislature and was very disappointed on several occasions when there was legislation introduced that would destroy the opportunity for local government, or particularly counties, to put in place ordinances that would protect the people. Mm-hmm. And I know that probably West River, there was some resistance to planning and zoning ordinances, and planning and zoning ordinances are for the protection of people's safety, the health of people, and the value of property, and there needs to be grassroots people, not the state, doing those things for local governments.